What's good, man?
What's good, gang?
Happy to have you, my man.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay, perfect, absolutely. Um, so before you pulled up, I was introducing people to you a little bit anybody who's not that familiar with you, but you've been making us know who you are. So we're gonna spend this time, talking about, what you've done so far, what you got coming up next, and kind of how you got to this point. Damn, it's so loud, Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry, that's New
You
York.
good?
I apologize. So
Great.
let's start from the top, man. How did you kind of get into music? How did you start rapping?
Man, I got into the music industry 2016, 2017. Got into the music industry 2016, 2017 because I lost one of my closest friends, my brothers, to gun violence, and I felt like it was a time, like, you know what, it was a lot of music that I felt like wasn't worth hearing or wasn't out, you know what I'm saying? So I like, you know what, let me go ahead and get in where I fit in with this music. I feel like I got something to say, you know what I'm saying? I got something worth being heard, and I want to be the voice for other people who done went through what I went through in this lifestyle, period.
Mm-hmm. So 2016, 2017, before that moment, right, were you making music at all? Did you kind of just jump in off of what happened to you?
Yeah, I wasn't making music at all. I used to actually pick on rappers before that. I was all naive, weird dude, coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. If you ain't make a certain type of music or didn't have a certain type of background, it wasn't gonna go nowhere. So before then, nah, I didn't see myself doing music. But after that, I jumped in it head first. I already had a passion and love for it, but I elevated after that.
No, that's really impressive too, because I mean, as you know, like making music, it's like tough, and you got to kind of have a feel for it to like really know what you're doing and to kind of come up with stuff that people want to hear. But you throwing yourself in it fully and kind of just going for it, I mean, that says a lot. When did you start to feel like, you're getting the love now? Like people were paying attention to kind of what you had going on.
I would say after my first song got dropped, I did a remix to Bryson Tiller song, Exchange, and I called it Remember Me. It's my first song I dropped. And when I knew I had it and I knew I could do it is by this being my first song, and when I dropped, SoundCloud was going crazy. This one, Uzi Yachty and all them was out, and it went viral in the city. Like, it just went crazy. Everybody was reposting it. Comment section was going crazy. It led over to the next day, then the next day, then the next day. I was like, oh, I can really do this. It spread from Jacksonville to Tallahassee to Orlando. Then before I knew it, I was all through Florida.
Right. I saw you in multiple other interviews say that, you were coming up in Jacksonville, like kind of even the early on times, like you spoke really highly of it and like kind of coming up and like feeling embraced when you were putting your music out and like people really celebrating you kind of out of the gate. What was that time like, and like why do you think you felt that love kind of so quickly?
I'm really from Duval, Jacksonville, Florida, from out east to Justina, if you ask me. So like my city got behind me because they know, you know what I'm saying? They know like, okay, he ain't capping. He making great music. Everything just matched. You know what I'm saying? I already was known in my city before music. I already was popular, whether it was good, bad, for whatever reason it was. I was already a popular dude in my city.
Mm-hmm.
So once I started, I put that energy towards something positive, more positive. The city just got behind it because they like, yes, like it's different. He's not coming like every other artist in the city, and it's something that we still can vibe to and not feel crazy listening to it or feel too, you know what I'm saying? Like it was all well rounded. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of speaking to that, where kind of how your music sounds different from, what was coming out of Jacksonville back then and still now, right? Like, kind of how did you kind of come into your sound where like you're doing a lot more of the like R&B stuff, but not even just like R&B samples, just R&B by feel. Like every song is not an R&B song, but like you feel the undercurrent of it and stuff like that. And also kind of the stuff you're talking about where it's just like really thoughtful. Kind of how did you get to that's what the kind of music you're making and also sticking to that as everything continues to happen around you?
Well, growing up, I was raised with my mom. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really have pops in the life. But the dudes that I did have in my life, you know what I'm saying, they was able to drop the rap stuff. But my mama had the rap coach around me too, but my mom had El DeBarge playing, Michael Jackson, Aretha, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of R&B, you know what I'm saying, stuff was installed to me from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
hip hop wave too because of her. But it's like I gotta keep that R&B bass. That came from like the music my mom constantly had playing around me, the clean up music, the hit the road music. You know what I'm saying? Like the R&B bass always stuck with me because of that. And of course, me being young and having my own ears, as I got older, hip hop and everything else just flourished on into it. I had to mix it in the pot. So that's where you get the whole rhythm and gangster. Like how you said, like it's not every song is not R&B, but the bass of it, you know what I'm saying, is that's when you mix it with R&B, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think, you know, like that's kind of something that you can't fake. And it's also something that you will notice if you have the R&B background. If you've heard these songs, and not just those songs, like songs from those eras all the way up to now, you can feel it kind of in the music and kind of tell, like, you have like real respect for it. It's not like just some shit you're doing because we know these songs because we're already familiar with them. It's more so that you love those songs too, and you take it seriously at what you take seriously what you do with them. So, you know, definitely appreciate that.
Exactly. I appreciate you noticing that, bro.
So you kind of you really throw yourself out there. You put music out. You start putting out projects, right? Kind of, and this, you know, this is before you signed or anything like that. What do you feel like was the one that kind of really started to get you like attention, where you're like, all right, I have something that's more established now?
That was me being with Florida Boy, still with Florida Boy. That will be what song? I want to say Safe or Emotional. With Safe and Emotional, those two before a label heard about Safe, Emotional, and Molded Me. Those three songs had me really established throughout Florida and throughout everything because everybody was playing Safe at every house party. Emotional, my pops put that bag behind it, so it ended up getting on the radio. It ended up catching, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people was knowing me for Molded Me too because that's when I got more serious and more potent, you know what I'm saying? So those three songs right there was the ones that got me established before I even came over to Generation Now.
Right. So you're building up all this momentum. Kind of how do you end up on Generation Now, like radar, and then you sign? And then realistically, let me be more kind of general about it. Because I mean, you know, me and you both know kind of ins and outs of music industry. When major labels are interested in you or labels attached to major labels interested in you, it's not like one. It's not like it's never like one. It becomes, even if it starts out as one, it turns into more than that. And it turns a situation where you got to choose and kind of decide where you want to be. So how did you get in the radar, and how did you decide this is the place for me? This is where I want to be. I want to be Generation Now.
I always knew from jump I wanted to sign DJ Drama. Once I started doing the music, like around 2016, 2017, my mindset going in it was, I'm going to sign DJ Drama. Like, just on the strength, nobody in my city had nothing going with him or was even looking to go that way. Everybody else was trying to go to, even I was one of them ones, trying to go to P or trying to go to a rich label down in South Florida. So I already knew from jump, if I'm getting in this music industry, the perfect person I want to be with is DJ Drama because I've been seeing Drama blow rappers like Lil Wayne, Jeezy. He's tapped in with everybody. I can go on and on with the list. So I already knew that's why I wanted to be. That's why I wanted to go. Uzi was already over there.
Right.
It was I felt like I wanted to be at. I knew what they was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I trusted his blueprint. I trusted everything they had going on.
Right. So when you started initially talking with Generation Now and talking to Drama, kind of what were those times like? Like kind of what were you taking out of those meetings that made you go, all right, like we're on the same page. They're selling me on this.
When I didn't have to sneak in the studio no more. When I sat down with Willie Joe and playing my music in these writer sessions, and when Drama actually walked in one day and dapped me up and jumped right on my track, the track that I was working on, that's when I knew, like, okay, this is, I'm comfortable. This is where I want to be at. This is what, you know what I'm saying? And once he came out the booth and gave it a go, like, yo, this is him. Like, this, I'm rocking with it. That's all the confirmation I needed. That I know that this is where I want to be. This is where I'm comfortable at. And I trust their vision and what they finna do in my career.
Right. You know, from there, things start moving pretty quickly. Not to say they weren't always moving quickly, because, I mean, you got in, like, 2016, 2017, and then you signed by, like, 2019. Low Key comes out. Very different from all the other stuff that's out at the time. Of course, you know, you flip weak, but you don't do it in, like, a typical fashion. And then on top of low key isn't it's like it's not that far subject matter wise from Weak, but it's not the same song at all. Like so
Exactly.
you can still stay in the right, you can still stay in the breadth of it where using the sample makes sense and it works for what you're trying to do anyway with the song, period.
For sure.
Song comes out, takes off, makes all this noise. Did you foresee that, and kind of why do you think it did what it did at the time?
110%. I knew low key before low key before I even recorded the first 3 seconds of the beat coming on. I paused and I said, "Hey, this finna be the one. This gonna be the one that take me up and through there. This gonna be the one that break me." I called it 3 seconds before I even dropped any words on the beat. Boom. So it go crazy. Shout out Hype Williams, my boy Hype Williams. He signed to Florida Boy too. That's the one who made the beat.
Mm-hmm.
I already knew what it was gonna do. Knew what it was gonna forsake and turn me up. And after we dropped it, it was like what I feel like made it different is the fact that I didn't grab Weak and just
Right.
snatch their whole song and not have
Right.
no type of originality to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why I think it went up the way it went up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like that's the problem with a lot of people who do these samples and try to flip it and all that. They try to just let the sample do too much. And like the older people or the people who been hearing this, it makes them disregard and look at it crazy. So I feel like me throwing my own twist, my own little Florida Boy turn on that mug, it made it a little bit better. Made it a lot better, actually.
Right. And no, and I agree. And I think you definitely read it correctly when you're talking about how artists using samples are like sampling R&B songs or just old. Realistically, we're gonna keep it real. Just sampling like old black music, like that stuff that's like really key to like just
to the culture, to us. You can't play with it.
Right, exactly. And I think just like you said, when you sample it and basically the sample is carrying a song more than anything else, it does make people who are more well versed in it, and we're talking about like late 30s, 40s up further down, like they'll hear it and they'll disregard it, whether the song is good or not, but they're gonna disregard it just off the strength because they feel like you're just giving them the thing they already had. So
and you messing it up, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I be seeing a lot of my boy Talk the Pots page, you know what I'm saying? People do in this generation, I'm seeing a lot of artists remix songs and mess them up, and they just doing it like they burning it out. And I want to bring it back, like let y'all know, like when you do a remix to a sample, know what you're doing. Like really know, like it's other people who are older who really care about this, really listen to this every day. So don't just get on no sample and just basically mess it up, to be honest.
Because they also won't forgive you. They're not gonna forget
That's
you.
my key in the Maxwell hands down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I actually catered to it and did the right thing.
Right. 100%. Okay, so after Low Key blows up, right? Remember, you've been in the game like 3 years at this point. Now that you song that blew up and you felt it was going to get you through the roof, and it did. Like now, how are you feeling about like yourself, and how are you looking at your career? Like kind of now, how are you seeing it at that point? Like in 2020.
Okay, you saying so? How do I see my career now versus how it was in 2020?
No, how did you see it right after Low Key blew up? Because now you've been looking. Every artist is looking for the song, and now you have the song. So kind of at that time now, what are you thinking? Like kind of what's your perspective on it then?
Now my perspective on that was just, me seeing Low Key work. When I seen it work and do his thing, is like I felt like, okay, I'm gonna let this song do what it's supposed to do. And I wasn't complacent, but I was just like, okay, it's time for another one. I was already not even looking for, it's time for another one. I was just looking at it as if like, you know what? I know this ain't it. Like I know they need to hear more. You know what I'm saying? Like if they went crazy for this sample, I gotta dig back in and go in on another sample and really cater to it. So when Low Key died down, all I did was just focus on like the new, focus on what's next. You know what I'm saying? Focus on what I'm finna bring to them table. And to be honest, Low Key ain't even died down. It actually just sparked back up.
Right.
It just going back up.
Right. One thing that I've definitely kind of consistently noticed about you throughout your career is like, I think your sense of like relationships, like people in the industry, especially other artists, like go to bat for you all the time and put you on their project. you might not even have a song out, but they're gonna ride for you just period, just because you're you. And I think the thing is, I mean, considering you're the focus of it, I think you also know that that's not that common in rap. Like people have friends, like people have friends, rappers like other artists, but it's never usually the case where everybody has so much good things to say and so much support to put behind one guy. And that's been the case for you. Kind of, what do you think it is about you where like artists are so ready to kind of get behind you and support you in all sorts of different ways, and really like push your name out there?
I'm looking at these comments, they going crazy. I support it, bro. But I ain't gonna lie. What makes me feel like the whole industry support me and they rock, number one. I'm glad you asked this, man. I ain't gonna pop my shit. I'm gonna be respectful with it. But the main reason I feel like niggas rock with me is because I'm genuine. I stay out the way. I stay to myself. I don't do all the extra gimmick stuff. I'm not a character. You know what I'm saying? If I really rock with you, if I really say I'm your homie, if I really say you my brother in this music industry outside of it, you truly got a friend in me. You can call me, ask me for something. You need help on something. I'm gonna give you the true, honest opinion. And I feel like in this game, none of these rappers have that. They got a whole bunch of yes men around them. They got a whole bunch of women who just want their money and their attention and all that other stuff. And women and men in the industry, like I keep it thorough with them. I keep it genuine with them, and I let them know I don't need you. Like I'm gonna make it regardless. My music gonna take me there regardless. My swag gonna get me there regardless. And me being a God-fearing child is gonna get me where I need to go regardless. So, and people see that. They see that it's real in the industry where everything is fake as hell.
Right.
And they see that we finally got somebody, and it's not just me, that really stand on his word and mean what he say and go to bat for you. And I use my platform to support other people that's bigger than me, and I'm just getting in this.
That too.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like I'm going to always, when you good to people and your blessings, they're going to come back. So it's a reason why the up and coming people, I'm still up and coming, going to show that love and support. It's a reason why the biggest of the biggest rappers is going to hit me up and rock with me and show me love 110%, because at the end of the day, bro, I'm thorough. Like, it's thorough. Like, I don't know what else to say. I'm a genuine, thorough. It's 100.
Right. And right, because I see it from like huge acts and also like acts that are also up and coming like you that are like, it's like your peers, and they don't feel weird showing love to you because
or feel like they, you know what I'm saying, D-riding or whatever the term they be using nowadays.
Right. Like they don't feel anything about it. They just go, "No, that's my man. Of course I'm gonna say something. Of course I'm gonna look out for him." I mean, you just reposted it recently with like Rob49 talking about you and Well Said and stuff like that. Like these people just out here supporting you.
I'm gonna keep it real from the up and coming artists. And Rob49 is a real like little brother of mine. My actual god brother, Lil Jalen, put me on him 2 years ago. Been heard about him. I fly out to New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? I go out there on my own. I pull up on him. I pull up on V-Long. I pull up on Barry and all them, my boy Jizzle. And we working. Like, I'm out there. But at this time, people looking at me like, because of low key, like, bro, you up here, bro. Right. And I'm like, no, I'm not, bro. I'm still climbing just like you. I'm still a young bull in it just like you. So I'm showing you that I come out here and rock with you and support you. So when people see that, dang, you really rock with me before the rest of the world get on, Rob gonna always show that love to me. That's my brother. He gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's genuine.
Right. Also, I think over time, your music just kind of continued to become more and more polished. It wasn't like you were getting away from the sound you came in with. You were growing it and expanding it and kind of finding more ways to like make it work and find ways to make more people kind of gravitate towards it. And I think like a solid example of that is Say Less from a couple years ago, where it feels like you making what you're making, but also like the major label version of it, and everything to fit together, trying to kind of figure out where you want to go, and the songwriting is developing and stuff like that. Did that feel like a big moment for you when Say Less came out? Kind of what was going on at the time? How did you kind of see things?
Say Less came out. Say Less came out during, I want to say COVID was wrapping up or just in the middle, about to end. So Say Less, it was a surreal moment because, you know, I got Gunna on there, Jack on there, I had Quando on there, on 24 Hours, A Boogie. Like, it felt good because these are relationships that I've been had. that I've been had way before Say Less was even come out a year ago. I just choose how to post my stuff and when to post it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it felt good. It was surreal. And it was an opportunity. I looked at everything. Every drop was an opportunity for me to showcase people know that I'm really here. It felt good when I dropped Say Less. It was wonderful.
So you did a bunch of features, kind of stayed around, still, you know, you were always, I think that the thing about you're always in the right place. Like, like it's like you're always exactly where like you need to be. And it's like, this makes sense. This is only going to help you like push on and get bigger and bigger. So it doesn't feel like you have been like in the shadows over the years. It just felt like you continued to work. Now, you know, you have Well Said coming soon. Lights video is not, you know, it's right there. So you've mentioned in the past about like making songs tailored to women and seeing it as like a strength of yours and kind of knowing like this kind of stuff they want to hear and also the songs that they will like get into. How did you figure out that that was like a talent that you had?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was raised around women. So like I've always known what a woman want to hear. I know what they need to hear. You know what I'm saying? And I know what to just say, you know what I'm saying, period, to get them where they need to be, you know what I'm saying, and feeling a certain way. That's just always been me. So I'm always keep the cadence of the women. And at the end of the day, whatever the women listen to and like, the men gonna follow.
Right.
At the end,
right.
I'm always trying to talk to them. I'm gonna talk to the streets. I'm gonna talk about that pain. I'm gonna talk about that come up. But it's always gonna go back to the queens.
Right.
To what, you know what I'm saying?
Right. What can people expect from Well Said? I mean, it's coming out soon, but you know, what can people
Well Said is gonna be it's well thought out, great production, well planned, well said. It's great, man. It's gonna be a breath of fresh air. I feel like it's something the whole industry, the whole world need. You know what I'm saying? Like with all this going on right now, Well Said is something that's gonna actually have everybody like, let's calm down, let's cool it, and still turn up. It ain't just gonna be no chill music. Like, nah, we going to the club, we finna hang out, we finna have fun. We finna take some road trips, we finna smoke, we finna vibe, we finna get dressed, whatever the case may be. Well Said is gonna be like well presented, well rounded, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, you know, with everything you've done so far, the projects, the songs, the deal, everything like that, when did you start to feel like, all right, I'm a rapper and people everywhere know who I am kind of thing? Like, kind of what was that? Because, you know, you talked about being locally well known and stuff like that. But when you start to go other places, and especially when you have a big song, like that changes things and people really start to notice you super far away from home and stuff like that. So kind of when did you first notice that? Or let me not notice or like believe, because that could be two separate things, really.
I noticed it when I noticed it before I signed with John when I went to Orlando for the Classic. And when I went to the Classic, I'm just walking with my people. People walking up to me, hey boy, you just dropped that song, Say, boy, you Seddy Hendrinx, you said it. I'm in Orlando at the Classic. It's over 20,000 people walking on this street.
Right.
And I got on all burgundy and something like, you know what I'm saying? Just something you'll look at.
Right.
That's when I like, oh, okay, this really doing something. When I signed after Low Key drop, and I couldn't even go nowhere in Atlanta, like I'm moving around in this Black Hollywood. That's really new. Walk around Atlanta like, oh nah, people running up on me in Atlanta like in a group, 4-5 girls at a time running up on me, Seddy. People, when I walk by going crazy, that's when I realized like, all right, this what it is. I believe it's what it is.
Especially in a city like that, just like you said, it's 100% Black Hollywood. Every famous Black anything. If you famous and you Black, the people know you in Atlanta. And on top of that, not only do they know you in Atlanta, at some point you gotta pass through Atlanta. You gotta spend some sort of time there. You're just gonna end up there. And for them to that love so early on in your career, it's just like, yeah, it's real now. Right.
Yeah, it's real. It's up. It's up.
If somebody had never heard your songs before, like what would you tell them are your can't miss songs? Like you have to hear these.
Oh, if nobody never heard my songs before, on 2-9, you gotta listen to Low Key. You gotta listen to Mold to Me. You gotta listen to Hands Down. You gotta listen to Safe. You gotta listen to Sunshine. Need You. Out of IDK. I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's a couple. It's a couple of them. But the main three I have to say, Low Key, Hands Down, and Molded Me.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the biggest moment in your career? I mean, you had a lot of huge moments already, but kind of right now, I know the answer probably changes next week. But what's the biggest moment in your career?
The biggest moment in my career right now has to be when I finally linked back up with Uzi and we got in the studio and we went crazy. That's probably one of the biggest moments I've had right now. Just you right. It's gonna change. It could change next week. This week could change next 24 hours. But that's been the biggest milestone completed because I already met Uzi a long time ago on some whole other stuff. So to see him, to link back up with him now, we're now like on the same label. Free YSL on the same label. It's kind of like, and we working and we like really linked. That's one of the biggest milestones and biggest things I done got so far in this.
What's something that people don't know about you? Like it could be like a random interest that would like surprise people, or like something you know really well.
Say that one more time. It glitched, my G.
Oh yeah, it's all good. I said, what's something that most people don't know about you? It could be like a random interest people would be shocked about, or like something that you know, like the back of your hand. Like, what's something that you like aren't like haven't told people?
Something I haven't told people. I have a weird addiction with ducks.
What?
I have a weird addiction with ducks. Ducks, geese, all of them. Like I just got a weird addiction to them. Like to see them wobble when they walk in line and stuff and all that. Yeah. This another one. Me and my brother, I used to love doing this. I can't do it in Georgia and Cali that much because it ain't too many. Oh, I can hoop for real too. Like I can really hoop. Like not no playing. But I used to have a fetish of cutting off lizards' tails because I knew they grow back. So I used to like try to catch a whole bunch of lizards, and me and my brother like catch them, and then like either burn their tail or like chop them because they grow back. I don't not no violence, not no old violence, old animal cruelty. No. Like nah, like, I just the real deal. Like grab as many lizards as I can, and chop their tail off. Like and he just grow back.
So all of this stuff is all animals. How did you discover any of these? Is it just like growing up in Florida kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. I'm from Florida. You know, we our own entity. You know what I'm saying? So like I grew up seeing we had a snake named Peaches that we had to get rid of because one night it almost killed my brother. So we had to get rid of Peaches. Used to be big as hell, like stupid thick. Had to get up out of there. I just grew up around animals. We had pits, cats. My Uncle Garrick had ferrets and all, like just my mama Bahamian. She from the Bahamas. My daddy Haitian. Animals they just been around me all my life.
Right. Yeah, I had no idea. I'm over here. I'm crying laughing because I said right when you said the story about your brother and the snake as if I knew it. I didn't know that story. I said I was
right, like he was there. Like, boy, I tried to help your brother, boy.
Right, yeah, I said right, like oh yeah, I was there. I didn't know that. What?
You must have been through that before. Ain't no much tried to get you before, cuz.
Hey, look, man. When you said the thing about ducks, I definitely got chased by ducks, like in the zoo. So like I know.
I ain't never got chased by one. I done seen plenty of people get chased by ducks.
Right. I was one of the way back in the day, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
For sure.
So, just to wrap it up, man, is there anything you want to throw out there? Anything you want to talk about that I didn't ask you? Of course, you want to shout out the project, but anything else, man?
Of course, man. Well Said is on the way. How many more days? July 13th. How many more days? That's a week. Next Wednesday, man. Well Said on the way, man. Generation Now, Florida boy, we here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no more that underrated. We here. You know what I'm saying? And I want everybody to stay tuned on that and be safe. And yeah, we coming full force. The whole gen now, not just me. The whole generation now.
Okay. No, man. Good to hear it. And once again, man, thanks for doing this. This was great. I learned
real best interviews I've had. And I know rappers say that a lot. This is one of the best interviews I've had.
I appreciate that, and I believe you because you said beforehand, rappers say a lot, but no,
Hey,
I know it's sincere.
for sure, for sure.
All right, my man. Thank you.
Love.
All right, y'all.